Of our daily doldrums and going into our Wednesday afternoon. What we're thinking about as we're going into the afternoon, we hit Wednesday at the end of the daily doldrums. We're halfway through the week, and many times, it's at this moment when we're thinking about coming out of the lunchtime trade. We're thinking we know what the trend of the week is. We know what the direction of the week is. We know where the market is going. Going into the end of the week. And we usually know that by the combination of our leading indicators and their trend, where it is suggesting the markets are trending towards as we're going into the end of the week. And that's what we're going to be focused in on as we're coming out of the daily doldrums here. Before doing that, we want to think about what we're not making any assumptions right now. The previous weeks, the previous 3 weeks, we have rallied up into resistance levels at the beginning of the week. And by Tuesday, Wednesday, this has been pretty consistent. By Tuesday, Wednesday, will have broken through extension long levels or broken through traditional long setups. And we will have, in the last 3 weeks at least, we have validated our resistance levels. And that has come at the combination of dollar strength, VIX strength, bank weakness, and lately, crude oil strength. And so I want to answer that question, not having any preconceived notions here, but answer that question and look at the leading indicators and try to answer the best we can as to what that trend could look like here as we're going into the end of the week. So we're starting off here inside of the Fed Fund futures, and we have 35 days until the next FOMC meeting. Previously this morning, there was a rate cut that was being priced into the October 2027, and it has been pulled forward to September. It's a 37.2 now in September. Now, traditionally pulling that rate cut into the future has been correlated with the crude oil falling in price. And what I'd like to point out here that is interesting is that when we go and look at the crude oil price chart and the Brent price chart, there are some interesting things that are going on. I'm going to start off here inside of Brent, and we're going to start off on the daily chart just to kind of put a perspective on this. So from lows to highs, there's this massive quarterly support level that we ran into at the beginning of this year. And then from our lows in 2025 to highs, we're inside of this massive support level from the March 10th lows to highs. And then inside of that Brent pullback from March 10th lows to highs, we just pierced a 61.8% line of a short. And so Brent is suggesting that this support level is real and that crude oil has the potential of starting to rally away from its support levels. A trend line person, someone that would, be looking at this as a falling wedge, they have a long ways to go before they... This stream continues at eMoneyAddict.com. The link is in the description. Join me there for tools and resources for learning measured move trading. I wrote the book on the measured move. Check out the hundreds of others that have learned trading plan development, pattern recognition, money management, and trading discipline with me to become the best, most confident trader that you can be.